Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, preaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the few Akwaf that subscribe to this word as well. This is the brother Dama Agabar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I was, reading different articles and seeing what was going on, around the world. And I came across this article, which, I'm not big on doing, videos and lessons on women, but this was a very good article, and it has a lot of good points to where edification can be made. And I thought I'd just go into this quick lesson because, the ultimate remedy for all of this feminism and hoeflation, that's going on here in this society, can all be corrected and fixed if things were in order through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the order of man and women that the Bible has prescribed. And this is why everything, the relationship between men and women is totally out of order right now. This is why you see a huge push for feminism and this hoeflation. And it goes both ways, but this one is dealing more with the aspect of the women. Because, women have a important role to play within society, and, men and women and having marriage and having constructive families is a huge part of a successful and functioning society. But now, the dynamics between men and women have been totally destroyed through this whole feminism and hoeflation and this more of a progressive type of lifestyle that these women are being presented with. And we see the direct result of feminism and this hoeflation, A lot of these women are just not marriageable material. I mean, let's just keep it 100, A lot of these women are narcissistic. A lot of these women, they're full of themselves. They've been given the liberty to ultimately destroy themselves through, too much liberty. And they, wear themselves out, and, they've been told to have fun and to go through your whole stage and, live in pleasure and do all these things, but it's been destroying them, their value is completely, gone down the crapper. And the majority of these women, are not marriageable material. They're not traditional women, so to speak, because they always speak about how they want a traditional man to be a provider, to be a protector, to do all these things that your traditional roles to be, but they themselves don't want to be traditional women, stayers at home, raising the children, not being busybodies, running the streets, they want to go through their 304 stage and sleep with all type of men and then expect you to, take them when they've been ran through, when they've been, came on, spat on, slapped on, gone through the ringer. And by the time she's 30 and 40, then she wants to settle down and wants to try to play house and, be a traditional woman. But by that point, you're already through. You don't have no value. That you bring nothing, absolutely nothing to the table. And one of the most precious thing that a woman could bring to the table for a man is her purity, her virginity, which these women nowadays look at that as, should they get disrespectful? That's why, asking them about their body count is a huge problem, and it's offensive. And if, you ask them about that, basically when you ask them about their purity and their purity and their, most valuable thing, which is their body and who they're giving it to. When you ask them, well, what's your body count? They get offended and mad because they know deep down inside that no man wants to really deal with no woman who's been ran through by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But then once you question that, the new progressive thing is to call you gay, is they'll come with some type of defense mechanism. They'll call you gay, or they say you got a small dick and you insecure, you're this, you're that. But hey, that's the normal dynamics. That's how it works. No, look, every man prefers a virgin, man, a woman who has not been ran through, a woman who has some type of, value. And the most valuable thing that a woman can bring is her purity. But now that has been totally destroyed with feminism and hoism. And we see why now, the dynamics between men and women is completely screwed and it's completely destroyed. And it needs to be fixed, and it will be fixed once Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai makes his second return and, this earth is brought back into order. But anyways, let me get into some of this article. I'm not going to read all of it, but I want to highlight some points and bring some precepts that show you, the proper way that it should be. So, without further ado, it says, has feminism and hoeflation destroyed dating in the West? And it absolutely has, man. That's why marriages are failing. That's why, a lot of men don't want to get married. A lot of men don't want to be in relationships because it's just too much of a headache. It's too much of a problem. And ultimately, you women bring too much drama and headaches and confusion to the relationships. Now, I'm not taking the heat off of the men. Men, are not in their, rightful order as well. But it's more the women who are more fucked up than the men are. And relationships struggle the most because women don't want to, they don't want to obey. They don't want to be, told or in order. All right. What's the order for a man to rule over a woman? Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that real fast. This is Genesis 3:16. It says, and unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And you see, and this is what feminism and hoism has totally destroyed this order, because the Lord created this order with Adam and Eve after she was deceived by the serpent, which is who told her, look, basically, you don't have to be under the rule of your husband. You don't have to be under God's order that he set up. You can be free. You can be liberated. You should have freedom. You shouldn't be restricted to the bounds of the laws and the order of the Most High. And that's why now you see all of this feminism, all of this hoism, all of this, confusion that's been given to the woman. And hey, and that same serpent is here and alive today, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And he's the one who has you women totally confused and out of order, man. All right. It says, it's a problem in the Western world that is rarely discussed in the media beyond puff piece articles and glancing polls that avoid connecting the dots. The precipitous decline of dating, committed relationships, and marriage, along with a flatline in population in the past couple of decades in the U.S., is treated as a novelty issue rather than a threat to the stability of civilization that it actually is, you see? And this is causing a huge problem with the stability of civilization because, men and women, the family and that structure that's the Lord has created within that is what keeps stable civilizations. And now that's why you see America so out of control. That's why you see all this baby daddyism, baby mamas bullshit, the lack of marriages, divorce rates at an all-time high, lack of marriage, and the birth rates in this society are totally dwindling, man, because that basic principle of the order of marriage is looked at as something that's a novelty, something that's in the past. Now people look at marriage as an old-fashioned thing that doesn't work anymore, but it absolutely works, but it has to be done in its righteousness and in order. It says, one could argue, though, that the situation is far worse than that. We may be heading into a future where families become a novelty, and many argue that the root cause is feminism and the hyperinflated delusions of progressive women. And that's true. Like I read in Genesis 3rd chapter, look, a woman, there's order to things, man. You have the divine order, which is Yahweh, then Yahweh Shai, then the man, then the woman, and then the children. But that's looked at as decayed and old fashioned, and it doesn't work anymore. Now, like I said, these is just that's out of the question with the majority of these women. And when they do want to get married, they're way too old. They're in their decline when they want to finally settle down and get married and be wives and raise children and deal with that order. They don't want to come up under that order. And that's why things are totally out of control. And, you trying to find a wife in this society and in these days is pretty much impossible, man. And it's a lot of it has to do with these women not wanting to take their directed roles in the family unit, man. So let me read. It says it says more than 50% of American women are still childless by age 30. See, because these women, in the ancient world, they got married young. All right. You didn't have, there was no such thing as playing the field, going through your whole stage, and running amok and doing all these things, man. All right. Hey, you got, and that's something that women in the ancient world looked forward to, was finding a husband, bearing the man's children, adding to the, to her husband's lineage and his, occupation and playing their proper roles, man. But now that's totally gone out of the window, and it's all being done systematically by this devil, man. He's pumped these women's head with this delusional and you know this delusional and giving them the liberty of all these things that destroyed them. It says by age 35, fertility goes into steep decline, with women having a 15% chance of becoming pregnant and less than a 5% chance of motherhood at age 40. And then, here it is in this wicked ass system. These women pop Plan B pills like it's candy, because these women have the opportunity to where if they don't want to become pregnant, they don't have to deal with the responsibility of opening their legs to every single man. They go on vacation. They have all this sex. They let men, inside of them, at random. And then they have these little pills that they can pop that'll destroy their pregnancy, or that'll destroy them, or that'll keep them from being, having to be responsible for the decisions that they made. So therefore, they're not held to any responsibility, man. They've been totally liberated to just destroy themselves and to be whores and sluts and demons, man. You know? And then, like I said, by the time they want to settle down and get married, they're already old. They're already used up. They're already washed up. And the majority of these women have slept with so many men that biologically they can't even bond with a man, even if they really like them, because they have 120 different men's DNA inside of them. So it's a constant war inside, biologically inside of them, and they don't even understand that. They can't understand why I can never really find a man, and I can never really, link with this dude. I might like him, but something eventually turns her off. Well, that's because you got, you thinking about your ex and what he used to do. And then you try to compare it to the next man that you used to be with, or the last 5 niggas you used to be with. And it shouldn't be that way. That's why you women are supposed to be with one man your whole entire lives and be linked physically and biologically with that man. But these women are so ran through, they can't even have a biological bond with a man, because they got 100 other different men's spirits and vibration on them, man. It's crazy, man. All right. But let me get to the main point. I don't want to make this too long, man. They go into all this shit about, women, and, they want to be paid more money and all this bullshit. But that's not the real root of the problem, man. All right. The real root of the problem is these women have been totally, destroyed through philosophies and these, ways of living that goes back into the serpent, man. Breaking from the order and the rule that the Most High established between men and women. All right. Where's the point I want? Let me read this. It says, for men, the reaction has been back away from the dating scene and the double standards involved. Over 63% of men under the age of 30 are now single. That's up from 51% in 2019. The majority of single men say this is by choice and that they are seeking to avoid relationships altogether. Why? The consensus appears to be that modern Western women cost too much money and cause too much trouble. And that's true, because they have been given this, they've been liberated here. Now they're all on social media. They're seeing all these different, lifestyles and, relationship goals and all of this, fabricated bullshit of what relationships and what a man should actually bring to the table. You see, now the majority of these women believe that you have to be on their level or even higher than their level. So therefore, that's going to cut a majority of men as being suitable, relationships for these women, because they're all trying to get the baller. They're all trying to get the so-called high value men. They don't look at a man who's making 60, 70,000, working. He works every day. He's stable. He can take care. He can raise a family. They look at them as being less valuable and that they're not on their level. So therefore, you got the majority of these women chasing only 10% of the population of men. Or if they are dealing with men that are under that status, it's just for sexual pleasure, or they're using these men to pay, to pay their bills, to get their nails done, to do this, to do that. None of these women are out here really searching to have husbands and raise families and raise children. You see, they're all living this delusional Disney fantasy world, thinking that they're all worth, they all got to have men who are ballers and can do this, they can do that, It It says the majority of single I read that. It says fear of failed marriages is one aspect that has younger generation of men on edge, with family court still largely in favor of women in divorce settlements and child custody. You see, and this is all the plans of Satan. See, and these things are all done intentionally. Basically getting marrying these women nowadays, it only benefits the women. Being in these relationships, really now, it only benefits the women, and this is all through feminism and hoism and the philosophy of the serpent. He made it to where women always going to have the edge and have the upper hand over men in this society. In fact, let me get that real fast. Here we go. This is a Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. You see? And that's what you see in this society. These women compass men. Let's get that word for compass. So now these women, they feel like they're on a higher level. It says the word is sabah. It says to turn about or around, aside or go back or towards, or go around, surround and circle. To march or walk around, go partly around, circle about, make a roundabout, make a circuit, to turn oneself. You see? And that's what these women do now. Now they're able to compass you. Now they're put in the system to where they can totally surpass and go around the established order of how it should be. And this feminism and this holism have, in this system, in this society, has given them the ability to, to compass you, to find a way to, circumvent your authority or the traditional ways that it should be. And that's why when these, the men don't want to marry these women, because they know if they go to court and there's children involved, that the woman can end up leaving out with half of your shit. You go to custody battles, majority of the time they're going to give it to the women, to where you're going to have to pay child support, to where it's going to leave the men in a detrimental situation to the point to where it's not even worth even marrying these women now. And this is all because of this feminism and this holism and the philosophy and the Queen of Babylon spirit that's in America. It says, fear of failed marriages is one aspect that has the younger generation of men on edge, with family court still largely in favor of women in divorce settlements and child custody. This is one reason why marriage rates have declined by 60% since the 70s. And it's all part of the agenda, because these devils ultimately want to do away with the family structure, with men. And now they're even passing laws and doing things to where you can't even call yourself a mother or a father. They got these new terms and shit. You can't even, now women can't even breastfeed. I forgot the stupid term that they created. And it's all ultimately just a destruction of the family unit, the family structure that the Heavenly Father has created, on this planet, man. This devil was trying to tear away at that. And it's working, to a certain extent, man. It says, however, obstacles go well beyond divorce and into a new culture of female entitlement. The word on the street is hoeflation, the dramatic increase in cost for men today to maintain a relationship with a woman, while the quality of women continues to go down. And that's true, because now these women are in relationships based off what you can financially provide for them. Now, these women, they'll tell you straight up, look, you be seeing these videos where girls be like, well, if you want to, it costs money to even talk to me. If you want to even deal with me, go take me shopping first. How much money you make? I only deal with ballers, blah, 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 blah. And you got, and that's how these women think, because their mind has been polluted, through the rap music, through Hollywood, through social media, through feminism, through this entitlement, through all of this bullshit. Has totally destroyed these women from the traditional way, from the old paths, whereas the good way. You see, and this is why relationships fail. This is why you basically now you're just dealing with these women on a John and prostitute level, because she's basically telling you, look, if you got the money to get what you want, which is ultimately the box, then just spend some money on me, and then we can talk, and then we can deal. And that's why it's not even it's pointless getting in a relationship with these women, because they're all looking for the highest bidder. And if you're trying to come to her and you're trying to be in a serious relationship, she ain't looking for that, man. She's just looking to have fun, you to take her shopping, you to do this, you to do that. So if you want to have sex or you want to have some type of relationship with her, you have to spend money on her, man. So that's why you're better off just paying her the money up front. Look, I got $200 to give you $200 and just give me some sex, because that's basically what she's telling you, you know, and that's why these women's value is continuously declining. It says this is to say it is an increase in female expectations versus what they bring to the table. And the majority of what these women bring to the table is ultimately their looks. All right. They're not bringing anything worth any value, because their true value, which is their purity, is totally been deteriorated and flushed down the toilet. So in other words, they don't really have no value. They're not marriage material, man. And it's all because they have been destroyed from their traditional value of how men and women are supposed to interact. It says, in other words, women of the past used to have something to offer beyond sexual companionship. And that's all these women have offer now. That's why that's all that they present. You go on these women Instagram pages, is them with their ass out, them showing off their body, them with all this makeup on, because that's all they really have to offer is a sexual companionship. They don't bring, any value. They can't cook. They can't clean. They can't. They don't know how to raise children. They can't be in a constructive, husband and wife setting. Or even if they do get married, they come with all of these. They come with all of these rules, all these expectations, all these different things of what you have to do. But she don't want to come into her traditional frame. You see, it says, I'll read that again. In other words, women of the past used to have something to offer beyond sexual companionship, from greater femininity, greater potential for motherhood, less combativeness and narcissism, as well as a superior ability to raise children and maintain a home. And that's what these women are supposed to be embedded with. And this is what they're supposed to bring to the table to raise constructive, happy, and productive homes, man. And this has been totally destroyed intentionally by the devil, by the serpent, Esau, Edom. It says such traits are highly attractive to men even after 60 years of widespread feminism, but are seen as non-existent among women under 30 in 2023. And it's only going to get worse, you see? I know I've been talking a lot, but let's get to some of these precepts I got, man. See, this is Titus. This is how it's supposed to be. It says duties of the older and younger. And a lot of these women, they haven't been raised in traditional two family households, which some of these women have, but the majority of them, especially our women, they haven't. So they don't know what it's like to be mothers. They don't know what it's like to be raised in a functional 2-parent household, because a lot of these women have been raised, a lot of our people have been raised by single mothers, and the traditional big mama, she ain't in the house no more, because now big mama and grandma, they 20 and 20, a lot of them are young. They weren't raised traditionally. They wasn't raised knowing how it is to be wives and to be mothers and to keep families and, things in order. So therefore, they can't teach that to the next generation. So they're just completely destroyed, man. But this is how it should be, all right? And this is what Esau has destroyed. This is Titus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith and charity and patience. And the men, they have their order to be in as well. But, in this case, we're dealing with the women and the hoism and the feminism that's making it even harder for these things to be. Because even if a woman has a man who's, sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith and charity, and he's a man of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that's still not enough to keep these women in order, because they have been given the liberty by Esau to destroy themselves and to, the freedom to pretty much be able to, like I said, to compass her husband, to sneak out, to have niggas in her DMs, to have all these different options on the table, to where if her mind is weak and she's not fully, rooted, she can be destroyed, man, and led astray and enticed and seduced. It says the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. And these women nowadays, they don't teach their daughter good things. They teach them, be a whole girl, play the field, date this nigga, date that man, date this man, and it totally destroys them. It says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. You see, now these things are becoming obsolete in this society. These things are becoming a burden. These things are not the way that these average women want to operate, because now they're getting careers. Now they're, you know, going through their whole phases. You know, they're making their own money. You know, they're doing, you know, the things that they want to do. And it's destroying the dynamic between the men and women. It says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. You see, and that's not what's being taught in this society, man. You see, these things are being taught against. These things are being looked as being a burden, as being in slavery to a man, as wicked, but this is how things should be, but now these things are being taught against, and these ancient ways of living are being shat on by Esau Edom, man. And that's why these these women are destroyed, and shit is not working, man. And this is it says, young man likewise exhort to be sober-minded, and in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. You see? So like I said, the men have their role to play too. But like I said, even if a man is bringing all these things to the table, it's still not enough for these women, because this system is set up to where she can compass all of that. She could, wiggle her way from being under that order, and it makes things even harder and harder, so that, families fail. It says it should be noted that hoeflation seems to be directly linked to progressive influences. You see, that's that wine of the serpent. You see, all of these different, lies and philosophies that this damn white man has given these women through this feminism and hoism that has corrupted their minds. It says, and not all women fall into this category. Unfortunately, around 70% of young women identify with progressive beliefs, as opposed to young men who are only 53% progressive. It should also be noted that progressive today means something a lot different from what it meant in the 90s. Progressive now means woke or extreme leftist cultism. You see, a majority of American women have cast off their traditional roles in exchange for modern feminist ideas, while still expecting traditional roles for men. You see, and that's what I said earlier. They want you to be a traditional man, but they want to be hoes and 304s and sluts and skanks and tramps. But they still want you to come and be a provider, be a protector, to be all these traditional roles. But they themselves don't want to come into their traditional role, as I read earlier, to be chaste, keepers at home, raising raising the children, being under the rule and order of your husband, not being out here flaunting your body all on social media, having all these different social media sites and dating sites to where other men can have access to you and to get to know you and to take you, to seduce you into committing adultery and creeping out on your husband. You see, but this society has taught these women that that's the way to go. That's progressive. That's how things should be. And if a man has a problem with it, then he's a pussy, he's gay, and he's insecure. You see, it says a majority of American women have cast off their traditional roles in exchange for modern feminist ideas, while still expecting traditional roles for men. Dating younger men complain it is now more like a job interview, with scrutiny of their finances a primary topic. Yeah, women, how much money you got? What can you do for me? Nigga gotta take her shopping, take her on trips, do all these things. But that's how they define you, as being a capable and providing man. Not having what it say, not being not having sound speech, being in order, being a man of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, having standards. Those things don't matter. All that matters for these women is how much money you can make and what you can do for them. You see? It says, beyond that, the online meat market isn't helping. Dating app research shows that 80% of Western women are all chasing after the top 20 or less of men, with earning potential being the biggest factor next to physical attractiveness. A recent viral trend on social media in which women made a list of restaurants. Yeah, so you see, you get the point. I don't want to keep reading on that shit, but See, these traditional roles are destroying these women, and this is what you have now. All right. And this is and like I said, and the scriptures speak against all of these things, man. And the scriptures give you the order of how things should be. And this is why, we have to go back into the old past wherein is the good way. And that's why ultimately Yahweh Shai needs to come back and get this earth, this world back in order, because Esau has totally destroyed the minds of these men, these women, and these children, and he's destroying the natural fabric of society, man. But this is what happens when these women are given the liberty to do all these things. This is Ecclesiastes 26. And where I want to go. I'll start here. It says Ecclesiastes 26. It says, a drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. You see, these women don't have to be held accountable here in Babylon the Great. All right. They can be out here drunk, partying, bullshitting. So a lot of these women be married in relationships, be out here partying and bullshitting on OnlyFans, and just totally, just completely out of order, man. It says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty. And this is what the serpent told Eve, You don't have to be kept in order. You don't have to be bound by the order of the Most High. Look, you should have freedom. You should be liberated. You can do all these things. It's pleasurable. It feels good. But not knowing in the meantime, while you're doing all these things, you're destroying yourself. You're destroying yourself, your purity, your worth, and all these things. And that's why, there needs to be boundaries in order set, man. It says, watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespassed against thee. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. That's why feminism in 304 has totally put this spirit on these women. That's why these women can't be trusted, man. Because this is exactly what happened if a woman is given the liberty and the liberty to destroy herself and not be under the rule and the order of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. It says she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler. And you know what that's talking about. You know what she opening her mouth for, and you know what she drinking. All right. Traveler, when he have found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. All right. You know what that's talking about, man. And that's what you have in this society. And that's why shit don't work, man. Don't work. That's why things are completely out of order. It says, the grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will flatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. And see, and Esau knows this. That's why he pushes these women to be the exact opposite. That's why you have the Cardi B's, the sexy reds, all of that music and that type of shit is the influence that they push on these women. And that's why they are the way that they are. That's why they're so loud and non-discreet and whores and sluts and proud and narcissistic and, completely off the chain, They don't want these women to be in order and to be, loving wives and, not belonging to the streets, man. It says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. You see, and these women don't want to be in the spirit, because they look at it as a restrictive, and it's slavery, and it's abusive, and it ain't right. And but really, this is what you should strive to be, and this is what Esau has totally taken out of the mind and out of the mental development of you women, being in this shameful, destructive society. It says, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. As the sun when it ariseth in the high heavens, so is the beauty of a good wife and the ordering of her house, you see? And as the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. And as the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a constant heart. It says, yeah, so, and this is what this society don't want these women to be in this spirit of. That's why you see the things that shit is, you see. And they use these, like I said, they use the Cardi B's, these sexy reds, all these different social media influencers, Hollywood, television, music, to destroy these women and to put them in this exaggerated, stupid spirit, man. You see? And that's why things are totally out of order. And that's why these women are not marriage material. And that's why the majority of these women are going to be destroyed and judged by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai pretty soon, man. All right. Let me read up. This is let me see. Let me see something. What does it say here? It says, like I read all those orders, but it says here, 1 Timothy 5:11, it says, but the younger widows refuse, for when they begun to wax wanton against Hamashiach, they will marry, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith, and withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. And this is what the average little Israelite girl is doing in her neighborhoods, man, because they don't have the order. They're not in their right minds, man. It says, I would therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. And that's why the shit is out of order. That's why our women are all on World Star Hip Hop, on these different on TikTok, on social media, just totally just making themselves look like absolute complete fools, man. The more they open their mouths, the more they talk with this feminism and this hoism type of spirit, they just make themselves look more and more ridiculous, more and more destructive, out of order, and just completely just through, man. All right. And the only thing that can cure that is going to be the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. It says, for some are already turned aside after Satan. And that's the majority of our women. They've been turned after Satan through this feminism, through these philosophies, through this progressiveness, through this feminism. And has totally just destroyed the dynamics between men and women in this society. And that's why, marriage in this current state is not working, man. Because it's just completely not even worth it, man. It's been destroyed, and it's only going to be restored when Yahweh Shai returns to do away with all of this bullshit and the pride and the arrogancy and the philosophies and the ways of this world, man. So I'm going to close it there, Lord willing. I wasn't rambling too much. Lord willing, this all makes sense. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit in me to do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.